Right, so we're here in the mighty Taranaki. Thanks so much for hosting us. We're going to land on the spit. It's going to be plenty of good times going down tonight. And so this is episode 24 of Smack Talk, and it's bloody good to be here in Taranaki. Beautiful spot in the country. So we're here to talk with Stormers and a couple of Scrappers today about last few seasons. And Hayden, we're going to start with you. You got yourself a brand new Rees on the way.
Yep,
pretty happy about that?
Brand new car coming this year. Sort of trying something to keep an interest in the sport. Been going a while now, so see how it goes.
Yep, and your team's racing career sort of started back in 2005, and you didn't actually start with the Stormers.
No, first team's race was actually for the Pumas against the Stormers at Stratford. Pumas, I think it was the Pumas or the Steelers, one of them rolled up, short one car, so we jumped in, had a go, and then debuted for the Stormers on Whanganui at the end of that season. Nice,
and how were those early memories of teams racing?
Probably the memories of teams racing, not great. We didn't have a lot of success through the early years of when I was doing it, but we had a lot of fun.
That's the one. And so you're always taking a team down to Wellington, spent quite a few years there trying to take the title home. How were the experiences in Wellington?
The first year I went to Wellington, I think 07, somewhere around there. We only just missed out on qualifying by about 2 points. We actually rolled the lead Blenheim car half a lap after the race. Without our knowledge, if we'd got them half a lap earlier, we would have been through to the next night. But yeah, that was the only time I went to Wellington, because we had a break for 2 years after that.
Yep. And so Bevan, by that time you'd jumped onto the scene, and your Kuriga there, true Taranaki hardcore man through and through, you tell me?
Yeah, that's right. Even on my racing around the country, it's Taranaki all the way. Proud supporter of the competitor of Stratford club, representing the S everywhere we go. So yeah.
Nice one, and it's good to see as well. Now, so you debuted at the Huntley Teams Champs back in 2008-2009. Can you remember that?
Yeah, I sure can. Yeah, I thought it was great to have a selection of the team that year, and yeah, leading up to that, I thought being the new boy on the scene there, and had a little bit to live up to. So yeah, I had off the front row in the first teams race there, and thought I need to hit someone probably the first corner, so I actually hit Ian Barron to the fence and carried on, and but still come away with a loss. But as it was in those first few years, it was a lot of losses. So yeah, it's been good successes in recent years.
That's pretty awesome. Ian Barron's quite a hard man to put away too.
Yeah.
Now, so you've had a bit of fun. You were telling me some of your memorable moments, qualifying at national meetings, and a bit of third heat bad luck along the way.
Yeah, it has been like that over many years now. Yeah, I seem to get through that qualifying stage, just doing enough to get to those finals, but another step up in the finals for sure. And just with a lot of luck, just doesn't seem to go my way, and just feel those podium spots have eluded me over the years.
Nice one, unfortunate. Tyler, yourself, you got your Keith Gill chassis at the moment. How's that going for you?
It's been pretty good, since we got that. She's been good onto it, so probably the best decision we've made, changing chassis, so definitely don't regret it, so it's awesome.
And your debut came in 2013, you were still relatively young in the sport then. That was against the Steelers. Can you remember about that?
I just think I just got fucked up, to be honest. It's pretty new. It wasn't too bad, but I think they just told me to run since I had a bit of pace out of the team. So I think Jay Knight and Simpson, I think they just fed me off turn 3 and it screwed me. So definitely a bit of fun though. It was good.
Had a bit of success on the individual scene. With the North Island Champs early on in your career, I think you picked up third. That was at Waitara Park. You've also come first and second at that. You unfortunately had the run-off with Jaden last season. But you finally got one back from Palmy.
Yeah, it's pretty good to finally get a winner after a few seconds too, so pretty wrapped with that one. So.
Didn't have it easy in that third heat.
No. McLeod definitely made it a bit of fun. Just going around and around, so definitely made me work for it a little bit more, so good.
You had a pretty epic season, you were saying. You got the 3 NI, 3 GP, 3 Naki, and third in the Speed Fest all in that same year. So, I mean, how do you take a year like that? Is it a success or a bit of heartbreak? What do you reckon?
A bit of both, probably, yeah. So it's definitely good to be up there at major ones, but it's a bit bit of pain not getting up there, but came out of the blue, so I was pretty new to the stock car, so it was good to get up there for sure. So.
Nice one, keeps you hungry.
Yeah, under the radar anyway.
Carl, for yourself, you got your Reed Super Stocks, you've stuck with those chassis for quite a few years now. How do they go for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty successful with Pete. Obviously, he has a lot of knowledge to hand on and helps you out and points you in the right direction when things don't seem to be quite going right. So, yeah, I've stuck with him.
And you had quite the brutal introduction to, you came out of mini stocks first of all, didn't you? Graduated from the mini stock class. Mini stocks for you boys, you know, is it great for Speedway, great introduction class, get you in the right direction?
Yeah, it's definitely a good learning class. Obviously with the non-contact rules supposedly, you'll learn to do...
It's different in Stratford, right?
Yeah, it's a bit different. You learn to do good laps though without, just consistent driving, and then that shows with the young guys coming through in the other classes, the stock cars and supers now.
Nice, yeah, we always see these Stratford boys come to Palmy and fucking start mixing it up.
Yeah.
You debuted for the Scrappers in 2013. That was quite some introduction. You took on what is the dynasty, I guess, of the Palmerston North Panthers, and how was that experience?
Yeah, it was a eye-opener of a race. It was against what would be the legendary team, really, with the likes of Penn and Myers and Rees. It was a pretty bone-rattling race from what I remember. I was out there blocking for a couple of laps while I didn't even have a run car going, but didn't even realise it. I just carried on blocking and doing my job, so yeah.
Nice. And just getting out in that grand parade now, what's that feeling like?
There's a lot of hype in that day. You got to use it in full excitement for the whole team and get everyone encouraged and go with it. And a lot of people, a lot of support.
Nice. Mitch, yourself, you got your 26S stock car there, top gear. How's that go?
Yeah, I've had a up and down couple of seasons really. Started off with last season, had a pretty good run really, bit of bad luck and some motor troubles, and then just wrecking quite a bit of gear to be fair. And then kind of carried that on this season with teams, with Stratty and Palmy, and then Auckland racing for Gisborne, kind of wrecked quite a bit of stuff and a lot of rain outs and that, so I haven't really done as many meetings as we'd like to this year, but so it still ended up being quite a long season, eh?
Cool. Now, a bit of a dark horse at the New Zealand Champs in Stratford. You'd spent some years in stock cars before that, though, is that right?
Yeah, done a couple of years in stock cars before getting into supers last year. And New Zealand Champs last year was about my 6th or 7th meeting in a super, and yeah, to qualify that meeting I was pretty stoked with that. It's a pretty big field in there, and it's quite a bit of pressure on with only me and Phil making it through to the finals. Not a lot of your own cars to help you out really, especially when you've got the number of Palmy cars in that there.
It was just a bit of bad luck as it turned out in that heat one, was it?
Yeah, just bad luck, heat one, so a couple of laps into it I think, got a red light, and as Benson hit me on the red, and it just didn't really know, it hadn't happened before, but my neck brace just hooked into some extra padding that I put in the seat, it just managed to unclip itself, and 15 lap finals, 13 laps to go, I wasn't really prepared to run 13 laps with no neck brace. It's kind of like one of those things, New Zealand Champs, but it's not worth being in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, many more years ahead of me, so I was had to put it on the infield, which is a bit disappointing.
And that's the thing that people got to remember, it's always safety first, so you got to really take that seriously, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, definitely, it was not really an easy call to make, it was 50-50 to pull off or not, but yeah, I don't know, I made the call at the time, and like I say, it could have paid off to carry on racing, or it could have ended up with me being pretty badly hurt. The pace out there is real quick, it's massive fields, and not even someone hitting on purpose, you just spin yourself up and you get cleaned out by 4 or 5 cars, and then not race again certainly wasn't happy about it.
You picked up second at the Super Stocks in Paradise as well. I mean, just racing at that Coliseum, man, what's those buzzers like?
Yeah, there's another thing, kind of went straight from New Zealand to that, and kind of had an alright run, was quite consistent in the qualifying, got through to the repecharge, and I just had to sit where I was to qualify through the repecharge, and then Nick Balance put a bit of bump work in. I think top 3 qualified, and I got back to 4th the time last lap, but just no other Stratty cars there would help me out, so I kind of had to jump in the second tier, and then it was me and Ethan Rees from there really, both tied on points going to the last race. I think Ethan definitely had a few Reese supporters out there helping him out and I was pretty much on my own, so I think I won in Z08, Kyle Fraser, he's putting in the block job. Thought he'd peaked a long time ago, but still had it in him for that one last lap. Coming off the grass or not, he got me in the end. But yeah, it is what it is. It was a bit of a shame not to win that. I only had to stay where I was. I would have automatically qualified for this year. I think it was 1 or 2 laps to go when Kyle finally got me in the wall, and Ethan got past me by 3 or 4 car lengths, I think, when it came to the finish line. Still good. Still have some laughs about it with Kyle and give him a good teasing coming off the grass and whatnot. Thinks he's a legend, but don't know why.
You sort of talk about lack of help in the finals and stuff like that with the likes of the Stormers, the way you are now, and even with the Scrappers. Are you really trying to bring that up so that you are a unit when you go to these meetings? Is it something you're sort of talking about and looking at going forward?
It's probably something we've worked on as a class for a long time now, getting the cars through the finals and getting Stratford cars onto the podium. Obviously, with the stock cars this year, it's happened. There's still more to come, hopefully.
I suppose it's quite hard. I mean, Stratford's got such a rich history with, the Scrappers in particular, of course, and Gladiators and all that kind of stuff. It was the mentality back in those days that it was just all for one for all, and just getting those S cars home. And do you feel a bit of pressure at all to try and sort of hit those same sort of levels and try and get a group of guys that are actually going to be doing it?
I think the stock cars have come a long way in the last couple of years, really. The Stormers is quite a big group of guys, and probably working together on and off the track and just socialising together. I think that stock car class has come a long way. I think the Supers are only kind of just getting rolling now. There's young guys coming through and just starting to travel a little bit more and that. So I think it's good for the club and good for both classes. Really, it'd be good to see the Supers start to all the other guys travel some more and work together. It's a bit unfortunate when you go away and you've got a couple of your own cars there, but it's just an individual title and they're racing like individuals. You're kind of getting over in the sport like that. So you look at the likes of Palmy and that they just win with numbers then. And yeah.
We've sort of seen that with Phil over the years as well. It's just that lone Stratford car that's gone out and tried to bring it home, and so close but so far, and it all comes back to the house, second at the 240s, and who's there? No one. Josh, yourself, you've come along, bit of a rapid rise there. You got your Demon race chassis, good car.
Yeah, definitely been a good car for me, and it's just learning. I've only done a few years, so every year is a new experience.
Nice. You came through mini stocks as well?
Straight into stock cars.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, just thrown in the deep end, but it's been all good. So
you had a pretty good 2016 season as well. You won the Taranaki champs. How was that?
Yeah, that was probably one of my first major titles that I won, and it was a bit of a buzz. So it was all good.
Speedfest as well, they generally try and bring the best of the best through, and whole third place there, pretty cool.
Yeah, Speedfest this year was quite a good experience. Been the only Stratford car and been top in points into the last race, and had a few hunting boys help me out, which was quite good. But Keegan and old Dave Moore put me at the end, so it happens. Stock cars.
Now for the Stormers as well, Evan Hayden, I think you were in the 2013 team that went through to Palmy, and you guys were gelling pretty well that year, but unfortunately that meeting got rained out, sort of threw a bit of a spanner in the works. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it did that year. It was one of our better years moving forward with that team that we put together, and leading up to the Titans was the first race up for the first night, and a couple of laps in, Hayden had a bit of a whoopsie at the end of the track there, and but continued on. That was the key, you carried on and come to the end, and we weren't actually leading the race until the last 2 corners really. I think Jordan Deere was leading from sort of one way to go, and
from the start.
From the start, and the boys on the last lap there, 2 or 3 of them held them up on the back straight there, and managed to run the goal along the wall there, and
that's right.
Hit it that hard, and just about took Hayden out at the same time, and dropped the torsion bar and had to run the wall to straighten up for the checker flag, and turned off the wall and crossed the line. Consequently, went into the pit gate with no steering at the end of it. It was good to get that win. Put us in good stead for the next one, which we're up against Nelson. and we thought going into that one, there was going to be a hell of a battle. It seemed like they did misread it, didn't it? And,
they were pretty fancy at the time when that was their first team's appearance, and they were quite highly rated from what we understood. So
Yeah, they brought some good cars that time, I remember that.
It was a big hit, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was good. You guys actually got through to the semi-finals that weekend and it all just sort of came unstuck from there, is that right?
yeah, we went back that week later, wasn't it?
yeah, qualified second, went back a week later and raced the Pumas, which if we'd probably raced them the scheduled night, they had a lot of damage from the night before, we sort of had none. We probably fancied ourselves a little bit at the time, but yeah, the rain beat us to it.
I was doing commentary for that meeting, that was a shit job, don't do it.
The commentary.
You know, never commentary. Never again. So the last couple of years, you were saying that management's really tried to take a new direction and sort of bring the culture and the sponsorship up. What can you tell us about that?
Just trying to be a whole lot more professional and trying to up our game, I guess, a little bit, the element. Sort of think back in the days we used to just get a bit smashed out, wouldn't really hit the gear and the cars and that sort of stuff, so everyone's, we're just trying to commit 100%, try and get some good results, and we're slowly getting there, I think, so.
The drivers, through some of the times I went through, the drivers were the managers, the treasurers, the secretaries, the whole lot. And ringing around on Friday trying to find cars to go wasn't a lot of fun, and it needed to change. And obviously it's building and it's done doing the job.
Nice. Who was your manager?
Who was the manager?
Yeah.
John Book was the manager, obviously.
So a bit of a
Been
legend.
around a long time.
Yep.
Bit of a, how would you put it? Yeah, I was going to say a hard man. You know if you fucked up.
He gives us a rev up, eh? Fuck up.
Well, I guess his famous saying is, if you heard, just walk it off.
Yep.
It's broken terms.
Yeah, broke it off.
I mean, that's the thing, he came from that, some of the glory days of Stratford, and, he did some of the biggest hits you've ever seen and got boned by some of the biggest hits you've ever seen, but, he'd always just keep his foot in it. And like you're saying, is that what he's trying to get into, instill in you guys?
Just don't give up. If you saw it, you just got to keep going, eh? You've got to put everything on the line, and if you don't have everything on the line, it's waste time going out there, so you've got to be 100% committed, otherwise you never do it. So.
And he's a good man to have fighting for you. If you're in the ref's box or something, the refs don't usually win an argument.
Nice. So the last few years haven't really been too bad for the boys. They had a bit of success in Huntly, wicked meeting to get everything rolling early on in the season and get the boys to gel. So you took the title a couple of years ago. That was a bit of success that would almost be a relief for Stratford fans. Was that massive for you guys at the time?
Yeah, it definitely was that year. We came up against Wanganui, first race up that first night, and that was going to be a tough race. There was some big names in there, Mooney and Lockwood and a few others there, and we managed to topple them. So leading up to the next race after that was on select, which we managed to dispose of them fairly easily, and we're actually top point scored leading into that second night, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And then the next day we came up to the semi-final against Waitara, which late in our hand. It's going to be always tough against the Waitara team, being on their home turf. That's one of the biggest hitters around too.
You do know if those Waikato boys, even the last 2 years in Gisborne, they just leave it out there, don't they?
Well, they definitely do. We respect them for that. They are some big hitters and some big names there too. So.
And they're probably on the same kind of boat. It's been a long time between drinks for them as well, and the whole Huntly track and fans, and they're the same. They're just really trying to leave it all out there and do it, eh? But so that's always good for the sport. So winning that, who'd you take on in the final?
In the final here. Rain came that night and forced the final to be brought forward early, and we sort of had minimal damage from the Huntly race, and Rotorua had a big race against Hawke's Bay and they had quite a bit of damage. As Rotorua do, and to credit to them, they got all their cars out on the track and they held the lead for probably 6 or 7 laps of that race, but our cars kept going and I think Todd won the race in the end, past the leader 1 lap from the end, was it? The white flag I think was out for 4 laps or 3 laps, and Bevan and Todd were the only 2 of ours going, and one Rotorua car going backwards, and that was pretty massive for us to finally get there against Rotorua too, who had just come off or starting their season from their win in Palmerston, and that sort of set us up for where we were going from there.
Nice. Yeah, it was a tough team, that Rotorua team. So that was awesome, and
they never gave up right to the end that race. They had some wrecked gear
nice.
scattered across the track, and yeah, they were missing wheels, and they were still trying, and managed to come away with that. It was good.
All right. So going back to Gisborne teams as well, year before last, or the season before last as well, that was a little bit unlucky. You guys were looking real good on that first night. Where did it all come unstuck that weekend?
Probably the first race on that track, really. Yeah, it was all of our guys' first time on that Gisborne track, and the first race, the highest we finished was 4th, and that put us on the back foot for the rest of the night.
It's pretty hard trying to get our head wrapped around that track, I mean, especially for teams racing, it's a pretty hard track, so I think that sort of caught us off guard quite a bit. Yeah, just trying to couldn't really get it together that night.
So you're racing on that track, and guys are in the mirror. You're sort of losing them in there.
Big time, mate. They sort of make up wide, and if you're down low, they just disappear, and they can't get big time. So out of nowhere, so it's pretty unexpected, but yeah, pretty hard. But at the same time, it's the same track for everyone, so it's sort of our own fault to not be able to adapt quick enough. But yeah.
So you have a bad first race like that. How do you regroup? What's the game plan from there?
Got yelled at. We made a plan and went out. We came up against Hawke's Bay second race that first night, and we had a plan. We almost pulled off our plan. We just let their car get second, which I think when we finish up, qualified 9th overall. Yeah, we needed that second place, which is what we worked on. We needed 1, 2 and 3, and we got 1 and 3.
Did what happened with Auckland getting relegated affect you guys at all? Oh, with Palmerston North, sorry, getting relegated. Did that fuck up the points for you guys at all?
No.
No? So it was a bit of an unfortunate weekend. This year was a little bit better though, a bit more prepared.
Yeah, I guess we went there knowing we've done the previous season there, and yeah, I guess we learned a lot from that first year, and going into it, we knew what to expect, and it was definitely good to go to Gisborne. It was a track I've never been to before. Some others had, but yeah, to have a go second time and come up against Christchurch the first one. They had some big names in there as well, with Rico Gray from that year. Yeah, you don't give him half a chance, he'll write you off, so we knew we'd have to take care of him any way we could, and yeah.
Nice, and Josh, for you as well, you were sort of thrust into the big time there and doing your first teams champs. Was that your first meeting at teams? Yeah.
I've done a few teams races beforehand, but yeah, my first New Zealand teams. Was a bit nervous, not racing on that track either. It was a bit daunting too, but I set out that first one, and then yeah, just going into the next race was just sort of getting adjusted to the track and getting used to things, and yeah, definitely a hard track to teams race on and catch where everyone is, but yeah, it's just a learning experiences at the end of the day. So
no, good man.
We'll talk about your third team race ever.
My third teams race ever.
Yeah. Yellow against black, is it?
Oh, here we go.
So what happened there?
team to beat on the night, but
Not we, you guys.
yeah, us guys as a yellow team, Team Yellow.
Was this a Naki local race, was it?
Yeah, this was
West Coast teams, Stormers, we have 2 teams in it. The yellow team and a black team. Yellow team, they were the fancy team, talked it up all week.
yeah.
You can carry on now.
Nah, we got to the final with these guys, and yeah, Hayden just wouldn't let any of us go. But at the end of the day, we just gave it to them because they were the top team, and it was their title to win, and I'm happy with second, so it was all good.
Oh, was this the final, was it?
Yeah, this was a final. Yeah, so it was a good race actually.
Hayden did a good long role in that race, and made the job easier for the runners, that one for sure.
So for you boys that have been around a bit longer as well, it's quite satisfying just keeping these young bastards in check.
Oh, that race was really satisfying because the first corner, 3 of us, black team, 3 of us standing here actually, were third to last, second to last and last. So to win it by 3 laps was pretty good.
Nice. Head over to the Peter Barry's every year as well. It's great, that the Stratford boys get in amongst that. Absolute legend for the short time he was in the sport. Is bit of feelings in behind going to that meeting. You know what you're racing for, and you know what he gave to the class. You sort of want to go over to Miani and give it your all over there.
For sure, it's definitely, for me, it's definitely probably the hardest meeting just out of the year. Everyone pretty much lays everything on the line, so there's going to be some big races. So it's pretty hard out over there, but it's definitely good racing, that's for sure.
Good hospitality.
Yeah, they're good, they're always good over there. So.
So we're moving on from there as well. There's a couple of races you've asked me to bring up as well. There was the Huntley race at Gizzy. That would be from this year, was it? Was that this year's race?
Yeah, it was. Yep. And Waitara for the 5th and 6th.
Malcolm Reed going absolutely crazy on the track.
Yeah.
He can re-evade.
Yeah. No, they've got a couple of tanks in their team there, and their whole team is, they're well respected, they're a hard hitting team. We were coming off the loss in the quarter final there against Miani.
Feeling pretty angry after the Miani race. So.
Yeah, and the whole team as a collective there was pretty amped to go out there and finish on a high, the best way we could, even though it was only for 5th and 6th. So we knew we were going to have to give it to them because they were going to give it to us. So we did that, and yeah, there was a bit of on track incidents that happened. A few people weren't too happy. At the end of the day, everything happened on the track between the pole line and the wall. SNZ are in control of the race. They didn't see fit to bring on the Reds for any other reason. And every hit was legitimately after watching some footage afterwards. So.
Oh, not Woody though, rolling the car after the race. So.
Yeah, that was probably the only one. And then his first time of blocking something.
Nice. And pretty big race against Waitara at the Peter Barry's as well. What do you recollect about that?
That was the final last year. Actually, the first time the Stormers had gone to Peter Barry's and won a race. So we qualified second, I think. Won our semi-final against Auckland. That was a little bit of controversy in that one. Not that there was, but yeah, come up against Rotorua. And again, we were doing what we were meant to be doing and winning that race. Unfortunately, Tyler got cleaned out pretty big by leading, and at the same time my car stopped when the red lights were on. To the credit of the team and that, they still kept going, and we still held the lead for about 4 more laps, 5 laps after that. The 2 Duffy boys, they had it, but it just came down to a numbers game. But walk out of here with second after years and years of nothing, that was pretty satisfying too for us as a team, I think.
Nice. And you make the trip to Kihi, that's a bit later in the season as well. Had some good times over there?
So it's usually a pretty good meeting, eh? Pretty it's smaller, only 4 teams, but it's definitely top teams here, like Auckland, Rotorua and that, so you know, you're still going there, it's going to be some hard races, but definitely on the hard track as well, so it's always good fun when you go there.
Usually fighting the track just as much as you're trying to fight the opposition?
It's just about there.
This year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah, moving on to the Scrappers as well. I mean, for you guys, I mean, you've been there while the teams, I guess at one stage, a little bit of afraid to give a team, just trying to get drivers to commit and be on board there. You sort of rebuilt. Has there been a little bit behind the scenes to get the Scrappers better sponsorship and just a better culture?
Yeah, I'd say you know, we were the early years that I joined the team, it was sort of a come together for the last couple of weeks to make something happen in that, and obviously last year and this season especially, we had a big emphasis on building and getting some money behind the team and going forward, and I think the results in that are starting to show, and hopefully the team can carry on and keep building from it.
Sure, no, most definitely. So with that, it's come along with, you've had pre-season teams races as well, and unfortunately all got rained out this year, but has that been massive for you guys, just to sort of get a bit under the belt?
Yeah, I think the pre-season teams races obviously been rained out. It's a bit of it brings a lot of unknown for the new guys coming forward, and the likes of Mitch coming in this year, and that makes it hard when you're going down there and you're going straight into the big time really. We had a bit of a inter-club one this year. We rustled another team together just to go against the Scrappers and give the guys a bit of a rundown, shakedown before we went there. And I think, it's worth doing and proves it's doing it at the end of the day.
Nice. So 2016 as well, you guys started pretty strong against the Wanganui team that was sort of rebuilding after Kerry Pajuski, and unfortunately, Kyle wasn't there with his injury and whatnot. Still a tough team. That was a brutal teams race.
Yeah, I was probably on the receiving end of a lot of that. Obviously, Keegan Levine got the better of us down turn 3, and it's become a bit of a known corner for me in later days. But they're in the same sort of boat, rebuilding and that, and credit to those guys. They come out fighting and took 3 of us over, and luckily Clint managed to come away with it in the end. But
now Clint was a late ring-in for the team, I understand that.
Yeah, Clint was another one that's jumped on board at the end in the last minute to help build full gaps, and
had his team's chance moment, running the 100, running the 400.
Yeah, that was credit to him to finish the job off really.
No, that's awesome. Bit of damage come off your car from that hit with Keegan?
Yeah, the car and body was pretty beaten up from it really. I think there's a couple of other issues with other cars in that. I actually bent the diff in my one, and I went back out in that next team's race with a bent diff wobbling around. Credit to Blair Johnson, who'd obviously never teams raced either, and he was the 6th driver on the weekend and got chucked in the tank at the last minute to go and do the job.
So that was a bit unlucky there with Great Britain. It just was a matter of damage from that Wanganui race. They sort of put a halt to that weekend.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Sort of seemed to be having an unlucky run with the old Great Britain team. Kind of last minute things seem to keep cropping up and getting us there. They come over and they've got pretty good machinery. And to be fair, some of their machinery is from Taranaki as well, so that always makes it hard for us to build a team against that.
So this year, Mitch, you got your opportunity and you jumped on board with the Scrappers, which was awesome to see. As spectators, we were stoked to see it. For you getting amongst all that 16,000 strong and being in the Grand Parade, massive?
Yeah, that parade's probably something you can't explain, to be fair. It's been pretty cool this year being on the other side of the fence. It's definitely a good giggle cruising around. I've been that drunk one in the crowd, and there's definitely plenty of them when you're cruising around the track. The atmosphere and everything is kind of something you can't explain until you've done it really. The amount of people is just phenomenal really, and Just the whole atmosphere of that event, just trying to get the scrutineer around the pits everywhere, just when you become a driver, just the whole perspective changes really, you know, yeah, just people, man, it's crazy, it's definitely the event of the year really. It's pretty big ask really. There's a lot of pressure on that meeting. There's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of build up to it. Social media, face to face, just all over. There's a lot of pressure, and yeah, over the last year, I was trying to press me into it a little bit, but I wasn't quite ready, and so I've kind of committed this year. My season just gone, and I'm still kicking myself about a few decisions I made and that, but there's really my first crop of teams racing the Super, obviously, with those pre-season ones getting rained out. It definitely put the pressure on. I put a lot of pressure on myself really with that. I'd kind of planned on having those 3 teams races to get the feel for it and those kind of things, and having inter-club teams races. It's definitely good, but it's not the same as going to Palmy, and you know, you put 100% on the line when you go to Palmy, and it's a big learning curve, and if you could go back and do things again, you'd definitely do it differently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing anyway. Like you say, it's all learning, and you know, you come back stronger from that. So that race against Great Britain, that was real unlucky. You guys were in the box seat for that race. Worked real hard for it as well. Unfortunately, a bit of a minor infringement costume. Yeah,
like I say, I still kick myself about things I did in that race too. Obviously, I was up front from the start and hitting a car, didn't need a hit. Holding myself up, and then Paul Johnson taking the lead, and I was just kind of chasing right to the last lap, and yeah, I think still in my eyes, and I think in a lot of people's eyes, we did win that fair and square, but the ref's decision's final, I guess, and so I'm a bit unlucky, you know, looking at that on video time and time again. Paul's wheels are definitely pointed away from the car that he hit, and yeah, it's just part of the sport, I guess, and I appreciate it from Sweet New Zealand's point of view as well. You know, it's a lot going on, a lot to look at, and yeah, yes.
It happened down in turn 3 as well, didn't it?
Happened in turn 3, and yeah, it's just seemed to be Carl's corner really. Scrappers don't have luck there, eh?
Well, I mean, it's hard to judge. I mean, they're sitting over on the turn 1 straight sort of thing, and you're trying to make calls based over there. Yeah,
for sure. I think they've got refs all around the track and that, but you know, definitely, there's probably one place that probably could improve a lot there is, you know, technology's moved on since back in the day, and I think they're going to start using video cameras and that to make calls. And we had video footage there showing pretty clearly that they'd made the wrong call, but by the rule book, the call they make, that goes, and yeah, I think with the way things go, and you look at what rugby does in that day, it's all about the videos and that to make the calls. I don't see why Speedway can't do that.
And it should, because it doesn't lie, does it?
No, exactly. The video doesn't lie, and I think it could probably resolve a lot of conflict that way. You know, there's a lot of people with ill feelings that after a lot of meetings, teams racing, just racing in general. Just you know, you ask 3 different people what they've seen, and they all see something different. You know, if you could all sit back and watch on a video, there could be there's no arguments then. Yeah, so hopefully that'll come into play pretty shortly, and will yeah, definitely stop a lot of politics.
Yeah, good call. So, I mean, it didn't turn out to be a bad weekend. You guys were gelling really well. It's great to see the Scrappers looking real strong for the first time in a number of years, if you ask me. In that race against the Waitara Rebels as well, you guys were in the box seat. To be fair, they're rebuilding as well, but they were looking real good for the team that they've got, and they're probably in the same boat as you guys. But that race come unstuck, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Waitara probably are very similar to us, to be fair. Quite a fresh team. Those guys, they went good all weekend, man. Lance blocked up a storm. You know, looked like he'd done it for years. A lot of credit to him. He did an awesome job, and it's just unfortunate that turn 3 again on a how to start, and that's just another one of those things. You know, you look back on video, what I should have done, could have done. On video, it probably looks quite stupid, to be fair, but when you probably watch it on in-car, it's a whole other view. I think a lot of people don't realise how quick things happen, and the calls you make. You know, it's if you've made the call, it's too late. You can't change your mind, especially when you're at the end of the straight, kind of carrying a bit of pace. And from where I was sitting, I was kind of doing the right thing, and Clint kind of shot up the inside, and you know, I was kind of leaning on Lance. I was trying to push Lance to the grass to get him out of the way, and it just happened that quick that Clint shot up the inside. Lance tagged him. he hit Carl, who was spun up on the grass, tipped Carl over, wrecked Clint's car. It was just one of those things though. I just don't think that's our corner, to be fair.
It's quite a hard one though, because I mean, I guess Clint had the window to go for it. There was enough room there initially.
Yeah, from his in-car camera, it probably looks a whole lot different than it does from my in-car camera. You know, it's just things, like I say, things happen that quick. So split-second calls, you've got to make a call, you've got to roll with it. You can't change your mind halfway through. And it's just, that's motor racing, I guess. It's once he had lined up that gap, there's no turning out of it, you know. If he tried to turn out of it, he would have straight in the back of me, so he had to go for it, and I was already hooking left him on the gas, so it was just, yeah.
Carl, you're probably sucking in the big ones on the infield. Did you see it all coming?
Yeah, I took a hit from Slidey earlier on that other end of that straight, and it had cracked the throw-out bearing on that car, and had no clutch, so it was stalled out, and I was just firing it up and looking down at the clutch pedal to see what was going on, and managed to look up in time, and it was pretty much right there and all over for me.
That was unfortunate. How did you guys come out of that weekend? You know, probably feeling a little bit of success, but a little bit dejected also?
Come out with a lot of teasing, to be fair. But I love the teasing. No, it was a massive learning curve for me. I think as a whole team, it was massive for us, obviously, this season. Trying to step things up, make it more professional. Probably following on what the Stormers have done over the last few years. Really, we're probably just a couple of years behind in the same footsteps that they've been going. And I think there's a few letdowns, obviously, like I say, with those calls of Great Britain, but the whole team in general, I think, was pretty good spirit. Really, it was a massive learning curve. It was awesome to get the cars looking pretty sharp, I thought, and get some sponsors on board. And yeah, I think that was a big learning curve for us. We didn't win and come away with anything major, but as a team, I think it was massive. So it's just be awesome to carry that on, really.
Awesome.
Just got to keep the ball rolling.
I mean, for me as a fan as well, for the just general sport of speedway as well, I don't really give a fuck what team wins. At the end of the day, you want to see a good culture, you want to see cars looking good, and just have a good camaraderie with all the boys. I think that's the most important thing, and the old school mentality's, you know, sort of gone. Yeah, it's all about being professional now, and that's what you guys are trying to do. So full credit to that. It's great to hear. You guys went on to the Nats. Unfortunately, Stratford didn't take a team. What was the story there? Was it just damaged reliability or just not enough commitment?
We probably struggled just to get a fifth car, really, and the call had to be made at the end of the day. There's a lot of guys work for themselves on the team as well, so obviously it impacts their work and that when they've got to take time off to go away, and that obviously plays a big part in it as well. So here we've made the call that it wasn't to be this year, and it's something that we've been building towards to get here, and hopefully this season moving forward, that's what we're aiming to do, is get to both of them this year.
Awesome.
Pretty unfortunate, like Carl said, there, a lot of people working for themselves, and had Blair injuring himself, Blair Johnson, that put him out, and you know, so other people, work commitments and things like that have to take priority, you know.
Skidder sold his car.
Yeah, Skidder sold his car, and I think it was just, Carl was talking to Pete earlier, and Gisborne was short a couple of cars, so, and I think it was me and Clint really, we were pushing to go to Auckland, we were there, Carl had no engine, I don't think his sister was too keen on him wrecking her car second time. Yeah, back to what Carl was saying, we're trying to push this year big to commit to Auckland and Palmy and those pre-season teams races, and I think it's only one way to get better as a team is to race together and stick together. We've got a lot of younger guys kind of coming through, so hopefully over the next couple of seasons.
That's awesome. I mean, so you tucked in with the Gisborne team under Pete's wing there, and I mean, invaluable learning, you know.
Yeah, obviously Pete helped the Scrappers out a couple of years back. I think it was 2015. We went up to the teams nationals and we were short a couple of cars there as well. So Pete and Ash had come and helped us out, so it was good to return the favour to them as much as anything. But obviously, yeah, huge learning curve from our point of view. Obviously, Pete's time on the track, and you know, Ethan and Asher and Gary and that, you know, they're pretty welcoming to us, and yeah.
It's definitely invaluable for Carl, he doesn't have to pay for anything. Just wreck one of Pete's cars, eh?
I mean, as it turned out as well, that was just a massive weekend for the Gizzy boys. They were had a bit of a chip on their shoulder from losing to Palmy the year before. I know Pete had a point to prove, but you all went there and did that.
He definitely had a point to prove. Just watching how things went and just the whole team thing was a big experience. And I don't really know how to put into words. Old Pete, he's a freak, man. You can watch him go from blocking to running. He can win a race from 3 laps down. Full credit to him, mate. He is a legend of the sport. For what he's done for the sport, you can't take that away from him, mate. It's really awesome race with those guys, just the whole way they go about things, the hospitality. A lot of good people organising things with that team, and we turned up there. Everything was put on for us. There was food, there was drinks, accommodation was sorted. Turn up to the workshop, breakfast, just parts galore, everything you could ask for. So massive credit to Pete and the guys that were helping him there with that team, and to come from nothing really and chuck a team together and prove his point. I think he's definitely done it,
Hold up that trophy at the end of the weekend. Was that just massive for you boys?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, haven't done it for a while and been on the end of some pretty big shots and not really had anything to take away from it. To come away from that weekend, still on the end of some big races. That Panthers final there wasn't a lot of cars going by the end of it. There's a lot of wrecked gear at the end of it. So to come away with a trophy and the win, I think was good.
That's the one. The Stockard boys had a pretty big season as well, a bit of fun in Kihi. Kihi, you can talk us through that? I'll start with you, Bevan.
Managed to get through that qualifying night. Pretty tough ask, those qualifying now at the New Zealand champs. I think it was top 4 this year out of 160 odd cars, whatever they are nowadays. And the odds are not great of actually getting through, and I managed to get through in the 4th spot in my group, and got into the finals and drew a 30 grid for the first final heat. So I knew I sort of had a bit of work to do. I had to go as far forward as I could. I think I got up to about 14 from there. Second heat, starting off grid 15. You sort of had to keep going forward again. Managed to get up to about 5th after the first corner, so I got a few lucky breaks up the inside. A few red lights came on. Then just a few laps later, just got a bit heavy traffic into one of the corners, got a bit of a bump going wide, sort of just kept my foot up it a bit, and a few cars come up the inside and just squeezed me out wide, and the gap closed and was going up and on over basically, and I thought when was this going to stop? She was going over a few times, and so to walk away, I was quite pleased that the car had held up and finished drawing the cage. Consequently, I couldn't race the final heat with roll cage damage, for which these other guys went on and did well.
Yeah, it's pretty massive, that's for them, sure. And Tyler, yourself as well, you're probably looking at seeing it as a good opportunity to get up on that podium after the hard work of earlier years and didn't quite end up.
Yeah, it's not to be, I don't think, really, but you managed to qualify, I think, second in my group. Got through pretty good, and then managed to pick up the win in the first race, my group 5 or something like that. Car felt real good, and then thought it would be under a bit of attack in the next couple of races. And first lap, Keegan all got rolled over in the second race, and I had nowhere to go, and pretty much hit him full noise halfway down the straight, and it ripped all the tore the brake floater mount out of the chassis, so pretty much rushed all the line out, so I had no brakes for the rest of the race. So pretty much committed to definitely not going on the grass. I wanted to finish after winning the first race, so keep going, and managed to got blocked on the third race, pick up the cars, got through, but just missed out a couple of points, wind off, so he picked up the third, and I managed to get 4th, so not too bad after the shit second race I had.
First straight.
Yeah, so that's something, especially for Hayden. He gave us massive help in the last race. Without him we would have been screwed, so he did some fucking awesome work out there, so that's good.
And that's the thing, Hayden, you're really trying to bring the boys forward, you know, as Stormers and on the individual scene as well. You're sort of taking charge and leading from the front.
Wouldn't say taking charge, just, it was the same, qualified second in my group. Always liked Kiki, always been up there in race. First race I think I started 12th and finished 5th, and the second race I started 30th and got up to 6th in that race and broke an axle in the last corner. Managed to keep going. Unfortunately, the orange lights come on before I crossed the line, so they DNF'd me. Sort of went in, fixed the car. Lady come round and said, "Oh, no points for that." I said, "But I crossed the line." And she said, "No, the lights were on before you got there." I said, "Well, the lead car hadn't passed me." Sort of bit of to-ing and froing there, and she said, "I'll go and see what I can do." So I sort of made a decision to myself, no points. We'll go out and pick off some cars that were up there. Apparently driving out for the last race, I come over the speaker, had my points back, and the worst thing with that was started on second in that row, but second group for that last race. I think I was on 7th. After I got my points back, I was on 7th place going into that last race. But yeah, we'd made a decision of what we were going to do, and we'd done the job we had to do, and it was good for Stratford.
Nice.
Yeah, had a few comments that I cost myself probably a 3 or 2 NZ, but at the end of the day, Stratford got it, and that's all that really matters.
Cool. Yeah, wicked. Josh, you're the man that got the flood flag, and I mean, Stratford's had a number of good drivers over the years. Sadly, a few of them contracted army and have taken the results and benefits that come with that. But you know, to fly that flag, man, how was that for you?
No, it was pretty good. I was just stoked to qualify. Had a pretty good qualifying night. Felt pretty happy, and qualified second in my group. And yeah, just going out for that top 30, that finals. That's something I've not experienced before, so something new. And started off the back with Bevan, and yeah, got 12th in the first race, so made quite a few gains. And yeah, going into that last race, I was up the front, and I just wanted to win a race, and you know, I knew I was there or thereabouts, and whatever happened at the end of the day. So, but yeah, to come away with 3 was, yeah, it's unreal.
Putting that new sticker on the side of the car, you're just fucking getting the jollies.
Yeah, it takes a few weeks and that to get used to it and actually know that you've accomplished something like that. So, but now it's just pretty stoked to do it for Stratford, because every year we've been there or thereabouts, but I think this year we've had the most cars that Stratford's ever had in a final. And I think moving forward, you know, like, I hope to see and help these boys out and all the Stratford guys. I think we can actually go to number 1 soon enough, so I think we've got the gear and the people and that to back it. So.
Beauty, wicked to hear. You did the New Zealand Stock Car Champs a few years ago in Nelson, and something about a park shop.
Yeah, love a good park shop. Yeah, there was actually, it was my first actual New Zealand Stock Car Champs competing. The year before that, went to Palmy for New Zealand Champs and got put on the trailer before racing started with a bit of a technical call on the roll cage. Yeah, we won't go into details on that bit, but yeah, went to Nelson, first New Zealand Champs. Yeah, it was, I think the mate Fu was the qualified pretty good, had a pretty good run. First heat of the finals, I think it was somewhere. Yeah, I think it was just me and Tyler. I think my memory was the only Stratty cars that qualified, and just having a pretty good run. I was up in the front group, just a couple laps into it, and there was another big bunch mid-pack, back a little bit, which Tyler was in, and had a red light for a car that got rolled. On the restart, dumped the clutch and just tore the tail shaft off the gearbox. I was sitting duck in the middle of the track. Had a bit of flappy duck going on. But, Yeah, Tyler was in that pack, and there's just cars going left and right, and I just had to sit there and take it really. Tyler just hit me from West Park straight to the back corner, and he actually had another car, and his back bumper was a bit of a freight train. I think he tickled slightly, to say the least. Broke the starter motor off the side of the motor, smashed the side out of the seat, and my tailbone's still not the same since. And Tyler can probably tell you about his. I think something wrong with his balls are quite sore. And I think his chassis rails took quite a hiding, shortened his car a bit. Pretty lucky with my car really, just tweaked the bumper. The back bumper's still on there now actually. So it was probably a good introduction to park shops.
But it doesn't end there, you're on the infield, right? Even away?
Oh yeah, no, it was, I struggled to get my breath back for a little bit after that. Spent a bit of time on the infield, trying to catch some breath really. And I think went back to where we were staying, and they had a timer on the showers. We had to go between 3 different showers to keep pushing the button because I was pretty sore and there's no spark. Then about an hour and a half in the shower that night, trying to get over it. But it's a good experience, and I think coming away from racing at big meetings like that and then get a park shop, it actually, to be fair, makes you a better driver, I feel. As stupid as it sounds, you go to Stratford and go and race on a club night, the pressure is kind of gone. You're used to racing with 30 of the best cars. You go to Stratford and they race on a club night, the pressure's gone. You get a bit of a hit, and you don't think anything of it once you've had a couple of good ones. And to be quite honest, that's still to come for me in supers. I haven't had a park run in a super. I haven't really had a huge one, so I do and I don't look forward to it. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. No, you're tough bastards, alright. Hayden, 84 teams races for the Stormers, man. That's massive. Take a lot of pride in that.
I do actually, yeah. A lot of, as we've talked, a lot of hard times, and now to be going through the good times is good. Got some goals,
yep.
And hopefully we're not finished yet. Got a few things we'd like to achieve in teams racing, and probably a couple of individual things as well. So yeah, we'll see if we can get them.
Nice. And it's a bit of an exclusive club, really, getting to that 100 teams races. Is that something that you're focusing on? Not focusing as such, but it'd be good to get there?
I'll say no, but yes. That's something that there's a bit of pressure at home. That's probably partly the reason behind the new car, is to try and get there.
Nice.
Join some other people that have got to that.
Work it. So, plans for the Scrappers going forward, is it just more of the same this year? You're going to be looking to get those teams races out the way early, and what's happening, Carl?
Yeah, I guess it'd be good to get some early pre-season races in. I know the Huntley team are quite keen to venture down and have a vice versa one with them, so obviously we've got the trophy with Mano too, so it'd be good to finally settle a score with that again as well, so yeah.
Cool. And Stormers obviously going to be heading to Auckland?
Sure, we'll be there, so.
Okay. No, that's awesome, boys. Thanks for taking the time for this interview, and definitely looking forward to chowing out on some of that lamb and singing some brews. So yeah.
Mitch's missus on the split.
Love it, split roast.
It's probably the tiniest one he's ever had, to be honest.
Got a great No, that's wicked, boys. Certainly appreciate it, and yeah, thanks for coming along today and doing this.
I'll just chuck out. You can either put somewhere there with the Stormers. There's a good group of sponsors been with it a long time now, and there's a whole lot of people that work behind the scenes to keep us going, keep doing what we're doing, and without them would be sort of stuff as well. The wives, the families, the children, pit crews, everything.
Massive effort, yeah.
That's right. And Speedway in this day and age is more family than it ever has been, and same with the pit crews and stuff like that. It's just getting bigger and bigger. So the professionalism should come along with that, and yeah, you boys are doing a good job bringing that all up, and that's what we want to see going forth. The S lifting some trophies. Wicked. Let's do it. Party.
Thanks to JD Hickman from Mitch.
Sarah makes a main steak sandwich.
Hey, we're good. Let's do it.
Done.